Hello, this is Dr. Patrick Hu, and I'm extremely pleased to have Dr. Anna Giuliano with me today. She is the Director of the Center for Immunization and Infection Research in Cancer at Moffitt Cancer Center. Anna, welcome.
Oh, thank you.
So thanks so much for spending time with us this morning.
It's great to be here with you, talking about my favorite topic.
Yes. Well, you are such a world expert in HPV, and you've done so much in this field. Can you tell me about the connection between HPV and certain cancers?
Right. We actually get to use this word cause, which you rarely hear in cancer research. So we know that human papillomavirus, or HPV, is the cause of not just one, but of 6 different cancers that affect men and women. And so the 6 actually represent 5% of all cancers diagnosed in the world. So I kind of want you to think about that. 1 virus, 6 cancers, 1 in 20 cancers diagnosed worldwide caused by this virus.
So what have been your most important discoveries on the relationship between HPV and cancer?
When we first started studying HPV, it was all about HPV causing cervical cancer. And in a relatively short period of time, as more and more research occurred, and I really want to put a plug in for epidemiology, because it was the epidemiologists around the world that said, hey, this is funny. If HPV causes cervical cancer, I wonder if it causes other cancers as well. And then what happened was a series of cancer studies that we then found that, geez, most oropharyngeal cancers, around 90%, certainly here in the US, are caused by HPV. Anal cancers caused by HPV. And this all happened in like a 10 to 20 year period of my career. And then what also happened was, geez, well, this is a DNA virus. It's very stable. We know how to make vaccines against DNA viruses. I mean, we've done that for years with pediatric vaccines. And so very smart people started to put together the story of, well, what part of the virus is important to generate that protective immune response? And as a community, we've been working towards developing the vaccines, expanding the vaccines, and showing now that the vaccines, not only in clinical trials, but in the real world, really prevent all of these cancers. It's just been incredibly exciting.
So do you think we can eliminate these HPV-caused cancers?
I love that word, Patrick. That's exactly the right word to use. And in fact, not only do I think that, but the majority of our world community thinks that. In fact, in 2018, the new director of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, said he was going to make this his signature platform as the director of WHO. We're going to start with the elimination of cervical cancer. We're talking about getting rid of a cancer. So our oncologists won't have any experience in diagnosing and treating this cancer because it will not be in the world, period. So this is really exciting. And for us in the United States, I said, well, geez, why would you stop at just cervical cancer? We have the tools to prevent 6 different cancers in men and women that are caused by HPV. One very simple intervention.
And deaths from diseases like cervical cancer are not even throughout the world. There's certain geographic areas, disadvantaged countries where the death rate from cervical cancer is much higher than other areas. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. Historically, our only tool had been screening and treatment for cervical cancer. Those are very expensive programs to operate at a national level. We in the United States have been very fortunate that we had the resources to deploy screening and treatment. And we've brought our cervical cancer incidence rate down to, it's never reasonable. Cancer should not occur. So I don't want to say it was an acceptable rate, but we did reduce the rate. In poor countries around the world, those resources are not available. And that's why vaccination is so crucial, because it is such a simple, cost-effective way to reach multiple people without having to have a complicated healthcare structure. And so vaccination will be our equalizer in actually eliminating these cancers in all countries, not just in high resource countries.
What's the ultimate goal of the Prevent HPV Cancers Act that was introduced this year?
We have a representative, Kathy Castor, who years ago reached out to us and said, I think that we're having a problem with preventing HPV cancers in our community, and I want to do something about it. And so from that one meeting, she and I and others at the Cancer Center have been working very closely with her to help craft the legislation that's needed to get the resources out to multiple communities, not just here in Florida. We can't really achieve our goal unless we continue to improve on our methods. And that's where research becomes so critical. And so the last pillar of that, the legislation that was introduced, is to also increase funding for cancer research. I would like us to improve how we treat the precancers as well as the cancers so nobody dies, even if they are diagnosed from this cancer.
So it's such important work that you're doing, so we're really it's your treasure to have here at Moffitt Cancer Center, and you're really a resource for the whole world. So the awesome Dr. Anna Giuliano.
My pleasure. Thank you.